The 2024 season has long been over, and the 2025 season gets closer each and every day. But just because the Detroit Lions season didn't end where we all wish it did, doesn't mean that there weren't memorable moments. The Lions had a franchise record 15 wins last year, which is something we honestly may never see again. So even though the season ended leaving a sour taste in Lions fans' mouths, I still think it's important that we remember the 2024 season for being the best regular season in franchise history. And that's going to be what this series is all about. We're going to look back at the season that was to remember some of the best moments that the Lions had. Whether it was a jaw-dropping highlight, a crazy comeback, or a dominant drive, the moments that made up the 2024 season are worth revisiting. So join me as we count down the top 10 moments of the 2024 season for the Detroit Lions. Hello, welcome in everyone to another installment in our top 10 moments of the 2024 Lions season. We've been absolutely flying through this series so far, which is a good thing because this was supposed to tide us over through the offseason until training camp got started, so this just means we're another week closer. If you're new here, then hi, my name is Zach Payne and I make football content here on YouTube, mostly about the Detroit Lions. If you're returning, then welcome back. Either way, happy to have you here. Just before we get into today's episode, if I could get you to hit that like button and subscribe and notifications turned on. I know it's annoying when you constantly get pestered and asked for this, but it's a very small channel, so it really does go a long way towards helping the channel grow, and it takes 5 seconds, and I would really appreciate it. So without further ado, we can just keep on flying through this series and this list as we are on to moment number 5, and for this 5th moment, we got to go all the way back to the start of the NFL season when the Lions played host to the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday Night Football in week number 1. So, it's the start of a new season. Vibes are high. Expectations are genuinely at an all-time high as the expectation for the Lions is now Super Bowl or bust. Real sentence, real expectations. Can't believe that's actually a thing. And they were hoping that this week 1 game would be the catalyst for the start of a campaign that would result in a Lombardi trophy. Do not look at how that went. The Rams, meanwhile, were just simply looking to avenge a loss in the wildcard round to the Lions that happened mere months before. So everyone's excited, a new season kicks off, and things are a little slow, a little tentative. Both teams go 3-0 to start. The defenses showed up, but not quite the explosion of offense that we were hoping for. But the Rams get the ball on their second drive, and they go on a long drive all the way down the field, a 13-play drive, but they can't finish in the end zone, and they have to settle for 3. The Lions then one-upped them by taking a 15-play drive down the field, but also matching a field goal, failing to get in the end zone. Tie game 3-3. At this point, it looked like things were going to pick up a little bit. The Rams go on another 12-play drive deep into Lions territory, but they opt to go for it on a 4th and 4, and they don't convert, turning it over on downs, which would set up the Lions to go on a 9-play drive, which would end in the first touchdown of the season, Jahmyr Gibbs getting over the goal line. They had to review it, but he did indeed get over the line. He crossed the plane. Lions take the lead 10-3. These drives were taking a ton of time off the clock. The Rams go on another deep drive, and this is how the first half would end, with the Rams going down the field, getting into a position to score, but once again failing to convert as Matthew Stafford tosses an interception in the end zone to Kirby Joseph. And then starting the second half, the teams once again would trade punts, but then the Lions would strike again as Jared Goff hits a deep shot to Jameson Williams, who was enjoying a breakout game for the start of his breakout campaign. So at this point, it's 17-3. Life is good. The nerves are completely gone. We're feeling good. Lions fans, we're feeling good. But the Rams just wouldn't go away as Matthew Stafford would lead an 11-play drive that the Rams would capitalize on with a touchdown courtesy of a Kyren Williams goal line run. Then the Lions have to punt, unfortunately. They give it back to the Rams, and on a 2nd and 12, the Lions get them in a great spot. 2nd and 12, deep in their own territory. A missed tackle around the line of scrimmage turns it from a 1-yard play, maybe even a 1-yard loss, into a 63-yard gain that would prompt the Rams to score another field goal because they are deep in scoring range after that. And it's 17-3 at this point, and the nerves are starting to rise a little bit. Things are getting a little antsy, and it's only made worse by the Lions going on a good drive, but Jared Goff throws an interception. No! And of course, the Rams, completely riding all the momentum that they had earned at that point, score a touchdown to take the lead with 4 minutes to go. Not good. So down 3 late in the game, you would think the Lions offense would, get back into gear, go down the field, score, take the lead, tie the game, whatever. Nope. How about a 3 and out? And now the Rams have a chance to run out the rest of the clock. But thankfully, the Lions defense, which had been talked about all offseason because if you recall the year prior, the defense fell apart when the 49ers were coming back and it was a problem down the stretch. So the defense that we were hoping would be decent holds firm, stands its ground, forces a punt, and gives the offense another chance at redemption. And thankfully, the Lions get down the field, they get into field goal range, and rookie kicker Jake Bates hits the tying field goal. We are headed to overtime. Which brings us to today's moment. Now, I know for most of this series, we have looked at individual plays. We had a whole game in there, but, kind of an exception. This, we're breaking away from single play here as we are focusing on an entire drive. David Montgomery's overtime drive to win it. No, this is, it's not like every single play went to Montgomery, but it was an 8-play drive, and 5 of those plays were David Montgomery runs. And obviously, you know how the story ends, but we do have to go through it because it's fun to relive these things. So obviously, the Lions win the coin toss. That's a big part of this. And on the first play, they do an end around to Khalif Raymond, who picks up a first down, gets the Lions a fresh set of downs just over the 40. And then the start of the David Montgomery, the Knuckles drive, if you will, a 21-yard run where he's just slipping between tacklers. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, funny enough, a complete dog, one of the best blocking wide receivers in the league. Very rare misstep, miscue, misses a block, and costs David Montgomery a potential touchdown run. I don't know if he would have had the juice to go all 69 yards or 59 yards, whatever it was. But Amon-Ra misses the block, and so it's only a 21-yard gain. We have to keep going. On the next play, Montgomery adds another 9 yards. Again, just refusing to go down, running through people, would-be tacklers. Jared Verse actually laid a pretty good hit on him at the end of this play. So he checks out. Jahmyr Gibbs comes in, has 2 plays, a 10-yard reception and a 3-yard run, setting up David Montgomery to come back in on a 2nd and 7. On that 2nd and 7, Montgomery runs it down to 3rd and 1. At this point, it's 3rd and 1 from the Rams' 9-yard line. Montgomery on that 3rd down gets another carry. He gets stood up, but the entire Lions organization, it felt like, pushing him all the way down towards the goal line, nearly getting all the way there, but he's down at the 1. And obviously, you get down to the 1 against the Lions, you know what's coming. The Rams called a timeout, trying to just get their defense to catch their breath so that they could muster the courage to stand up to the Lions on the goal line. But alas, that effort was in vain, as on 1st and goal from the 1-yard line, David Montgomery punches it in, and the fans get to go home happy. Gotta say, that game for the first maybe 2.5 quarters was feeling really good. The last quarter and a half of regulation was a complete nightmare. It felt like the game was just slipping away from them the whole time. But you get to overtime and you go back to what you're good at, which is running the football, trusting your offensive line, leaning into your identity. And as a result, the Rams were just out of gas and they run them over and they get the win, salvaging whatever that second half was to start the season off on the right foot. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, remember to hit like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you loved it, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I'll see you guys later in the week with some more content. And until then, cheers.